Well, who could remember what was I teaching on last week? I'm going to do a quiz today. I'm not going to preach. I'm going to test your knowledge. No, I'm not scaring you. I hope not. But anybody here can remember what I was talking about last week? Yes, Elkanah and Hannah and Peninnah. Right? So what happened to Hannah? Right.
God gave away.
Pardon?
God gave away.
Yes. Okay, good. That's enough. I'm going to continue teaching on this chapter. You know, I said last week, I'm going to teach on the Old Testament because a lot of people don't know the stories. A lot of people never went to Sunday school. Do you know that? I mean, sitting in our midst here. And maybe if you went to Sunday school, you don't know all the stories. So in order to understand the New Testament, you have to understand the Old Testament. Because the New Testament was concealed in the Old. And the Old was revealed in the New. You might be asking, what do I mean by that? When I say the New was concealed in the Old. Because in the Old Testament, the prophets and the kings, you know, the people that God used in the Old Testament, they prophesied about the coming of Jesus. But they never had the opportunity or the privilege to live during the time of Jesus. So they prophesy about it. But in the New Testament, everything happened. Jesus was born. And he walked on this earth and he did great things. And he raised up people to continue preaching the New Testament. So the New was concealed in the Old. And the Old was revealed in the New. Because everything that prophesied came to pass. So that's what it really meant when I'm saying the New was concealed in the Old and the Old was revealed in the New. So as I said, I'm going to teach you some Old Testament stuff so that you could understand the New Testament in a better way. And last week I started with 1 Samuel. So if you have your Bible, we're going to put it up there for you today. 1 Samuel chapter 1. You know, I stopped at verse 11. I'll just give you a brief knowledge of what we talk about. There was a man by the name of Elkanah. This man had two wives. One was Hannah and one was Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah couldn't have any children. And because of that, during the Old Testament time, when you can't have children, it was a shame and a disgrace. And because it was a shame and a disgrace, Hannah was very ashamed of herself. And she went into depression because her adversary, Peninnah, she was having children. And because she was having children, she was showing off to Hannah. So Peninnah was feeling good, and Hannah was in deep pain and sorrow. And it came to a part, there was a time when Peninnah used to provoke Hannah. You know what it means to provoke? Like she would throw things in her face and said, look at you. You barren, you cannot have children. It's a shame and a disgrace. Now, if you're doing that to somebody, how would you feel? My wife, she teach a message on having security in God this morning. Whereas Hannah, I believe she felt insecure. And Penina was feeling good about herself because she was having children. And you know, because of that, Hannah went into depression. And we know that if we are experiencing difficulties like this in real life situation, you will go into depression. So this is a real story. This happened, right? Because we see the symptoms. It still happened today. So Hannah went into a depression. At times she would weep, and she would weep, and she would weep. There were times when she wouldn't eat. And these are the symptoms of depression. At times she wouldn't sleep at night because of what she was facing. Shame and disgrace. But the nice thing about it, you know what I really admire about Hannah? She knew God. And that's the difference between a believer and a non-believer. Because in real life, we all face the same problem. Do you know Christians experience the same problems like non-Christian? We are not different. We live in a world where there is sin. So we experience the same problem like they do. But the nice thing about Christian, we have God on our side. The people who don't have God, you know what they do? They go to drugs, alcohol. People commit suicide because they cannot handle the problems. And it's very sad. Very, very sad. So the nice thing about Hannah, she knew God. And because she knew God, she went to the temple to pray. When she went to the temple to pray, she was just praying before God. She poured her heart and her soul unto God. When you read the story, she was, her mouth, her lips were moving, but there were no words coming out. Can you imagine the groan and the pain she was in? And the priest in the temple now, because the priest used to live in the temple. So when people come into the temple, the priest is there to help them. So when the priest saw Hannah praying, her lips were moving, no words were coming out. You know what the priest thought? She was drunk with wine. Even the priest judged her. But she said to the priest, I am not drunk with wine, but I'm pouring my soul before God. So I'm going to continue. That's why I stopped last week. Look at verse 11. And listen to what she said. And she vowed, okay, I'll read verse 10. And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. What does it mean? She was in bitterness of soul. She was in so much pain. She was hurting so much that she wept, and she wept, and she wept before God. Sometimes you might be experiencing a situation like that in your life. You might be experiencing a situation like Hannah. But yours could be different. But what I'm saying, even though your problem is different, we serve the same God. Do you know we serve the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob? It's the same God Hannah served. And God saw her prayers. Sometimes when we are going through our difficult situation, we need to do like Hannah and go before God in bitterness of soul. Bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and she wept. And verse 11 said, and she vowed a vow. Listen to what she said. And said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thy handmaiden. So now she's crying out to God, and she's saying to God, if you look upon me, look at my affliction, look at my pain. Look at what she said. She said, and remember me, and not forget thy handmaiden, but will give unto thy handmaiden a man child. Then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall be no razor upon his head. Wow. And like I said last week, a lot of people, when they are going through difficult times, they come to God and they make promises. But the thing about it, a lot of people make promises to God. But do you really keep your promise? And do you know that's more dangerous to you? It's better you never make a promise. Are you hearing me? When we are going through difficult times, you are ready to make promises to God, and the moment God bless you, the moment God save you, the moment God change you, you forget about God. And you say, I am good. I don't need God anymore, like Brother Mike said. You know, we put God on a shelf. I like that. He always used that. We always put God on a shelf, and we say, God, when we're ready for you, you know what? I'll take you off the shelf. But you are treading on dangerous ground. The God we serve, He is the true and the living God. Amen. He's alive. Amen. Nothing is hidden before Him. Everything is naked before His eyes. He sees everything. And He knows you by your name. Do you know that? The Bible says God knows the very number of hair on your head. I don't know the number of hair on my head. I know Brother Chris have a beauty salon. He cut people here every day, but he don't know the number of hair on their head. But God knows the number of hair on your head. He knows you better than you know yourself. So, you know, when you come to God, when you're going through difficult times, please, don't make promises to God and don't follow through with it. If you make a promise to God, follow through. Because you are treading on dangerous ground. And you know exactly what Hannah did. She made a promise to God. God blessed her with a son. And she gave him in the temple. We're going to read on. Verse 12 says, and it came to pass as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken. Now I explain all these things. And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And listen to what Hannah said in verse 15. And Hannah answered and said, no, my Lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. So Hannah was telling priest. I am not drunken with wine, but I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial. The word Belial means wretched or sinner. For out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace. So you see, the priest and Hannah, they were having a conversation in the temple. And after she explained to the priest what she was going through, the priest looked at her and said, he said in verse 17, Then Eli answered and said, Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. So the priest blessed Hannah, and he said, Go. God is with you. But that was all beautiful. And let's continue to read. And look at verse 18. I want you to pay attention to this. And she said, Let thine handmaiden find grace in thy sight. So the woman went away and did eat, and her countenance was no sad. So what happened here? When it says she went away, after the priest blessed her, she went away and her countenance was no more sad. Do you know what's your countenance? Now, your countenance is what? When something is happening inside, right? Like if you're experiencing sadness and pain and sorrow, what it shows on your face? Because your face becomes sad. You have a sad face. And you could look at some people and you could say, you know what? What's going on? You could see it on the face, the countenance change. But when you're happy and you're joyous, it shows on your face also. By your face, by the expression on your face, and by your actions, it shows that you are happy and you are joyous. So immediately after the priest blessed Hannah, her countenance changed, meaning she experienced the peace of God. Sometimes, you're praying for something. You're praying and you're praying and you're praying. And you feel like as though your prayer is not answered. But sometimes you could know when your prayers are answered. You know how you know? Hannah experienced it here. Immediately after she prayed and the priest blessed her, she experienced peace. So when you pray to God for something, when you go before God like Hannah did, and you cry and you moan and you pour your heart out, and you feel that peace. When you feel that peace of God upon your life, I am telling you without a shadow of a doubt, it means that God answers your prayers. Are you hearing me?
Amen.
I have experienced this many times. But if you are still struggling, and if there's a wrestling, if there's a warfare going on inside of you, then you really didn't give it up over to God. You are still holding on. You are doubting. The devil is playing with your mind. Are you following me? I know some of you are experiencing this. But when you pray before God and you truly touch heaven, you will feel the peace of God. All your worries and fear will just go away. It will leave you. You will be a changed and a transformed person immediately. Are you hearing me? That's how you know that God answers your prayers. But if you are still holding on to your worries and your fear, you are not trusting God. You need to examine your life. Sometimes you need to search yourself. Do you know that? And you need to come before God and say, search me, O God. You know there's a song, search me, O God, and know my heart today. Try me and prove me. I am telling you today, you could know when your prayers are answered. Now if you have never known that, that's knowledge for you today. And if one thing you want to walk away from this place today, walk away with that. Because a lot of people pray and they pray and pray and they don't see answers. But God can answer prayers. He always answers my prayers. Well, not all of them. Well, maybe He do answer all, but He doesn't give me what I want. So you hear me? So Hannah, look at her life. In verse 18 she said, let thine handmaiden find grace in thy sight. So the woman went away and did eat. Her countenance changed. She started eating. She drinking. She was fellowship. She was going about her business. Because she knew God took care of her prayers. And because of that, verse 93, and they rose up early in the morning, meaning Hannah and Elkanah, they were wife and husband, and worshipped the Lord. You see, even though the priest blessed her, she didn't give up on God. The very next day, what they did, she and her husband, what they did, they worship. That's the next thing we gotta do when God blesses us. You don't grab the blessing and run. Because I'm telling you, it won't last too long. That is being like the 10 lepers. You know, Jesus healed 10 lepers on the earth. And you know how many of them went back and thanked Him? Thank you. Just one of them went back and thanked the Lord. How sad. People just want. People just ready to take from you and run. That's the kind of world we live in. But God wants us to be thankful. He wants us to worship. Now I'm teaching you these things so that you know when you experience God's presence and power and His love, be thankful. Be a worshiper. Be excited to come in the house of God. You know some people you tell them about church, they have a million excuses. You want to hear excuse? Just invite somebody to church. You think I'm telling a lie? And why is that? What? Have you ever asked yourself the question, why? Because it shows that Christianity is truth. And the devil won't want you serving Jesus. So he will give you a million excuses not to be in church. But the Bible says if you worship the Lord joyously. You know what the psalmist David said? He said, I was glad when they say unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord to worship. When you are glad, when you are joyous, when you are happy to be in the house of God, God honors that. And because He honors that, He will bless you. He will take care of you. but He will take care of you. So Hannah and her husband, they worship the Lord. And they returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Wherefore it came to pass when the time was come about, after Hannah conceived, that she bare a son and called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked him of the Lord. So why his name was Samuel? Do you know names have meanings? Do you know that? All of your names here today have meanings. Now if you never know, you should find out the meaning of your name. So why she named him Samuel? Why she named her son Samuel? It says right here in the Word. I'm going to read it to you again. Wherefore it came to pass, verse 20, look at it there. Wherefore it came to pass when the time was come about, after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son and called his name Samuel, saying, look at the reason why. Why? Because I have asked him of the Lord. So the name Samuel means because she had asked him of the Lord. That's what it means. So sometimes you need to know what your names mean. You know, one day I went to the bank, right? And the guy, the teller, he said to me, he said, your name really suits you. Sonny. So I said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, like, he didn't want to tell me what it meant. He said, well, whatever you think of it. But I knew in my heart. Amen? So, Samuel, his name was given to him because she asked the Lord. And verse 21 said, and the man and Elkanah and his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. So Samuel, Elkanah, he used to go up in the temple to offer, to make yearly sacrifice. So he went up. And verse 22 said, but Hannah went not up. For she said to her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned. And then I will bring him that he may appear before the Lord and there abide forever. But what does that verse mean to you?
That he will follow God and he will be in his presence for walk with him forever.
But yeah, that's right. But the word wean means she was, because she was a small baby, it means that she was going to breastfeed him. Right? And when he was finished at the age of, I don't know what age, some children finish breastfeeding. 6 months to a year. Ladies, you could give me knowledge on that. I know some people, big kids grow up still breastfeeding. But I don't know how long it was. So the word "wean" means that she was breastfeeding Samuel until he came off the milk, the breast milk, and then she took him to the temple and dedicated him. So you need to know all these things. There are reasons why it's written here. So here we see, verse 23 said, and Elkanah, her husband, said unto her, do what seemeth good to thee. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord establish his word. So what he's saying here, only the Lord establish his word. It means that he was reminding her of the promise that she made before God in the temple. Because sometimes I say when you get the blessing, it's very easy for you to forget your promises. So he was saying to her, remember your words, Remember your promise that you make unto God, that you're going to give him back to God. So Elkanah, he warned her. So the woman of God gave her son suck until she weaned him. So you see what the word wean means? To breastfeed. And when she had weaned him, verse 24, she took him up with her, with three bullocks, 1 ephah of flour, and a bottle of wine, and brought him unto the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. So what did Hannah do? She took up Samuel, the babe, to the temple now, and she brought with her a sacrifice. So what she's doing, she's showing gratefulness and thankfulness, because God has answered her prayer and God has blessed her with his son. How many times will God bless us with children? You know, we get our children and grow them anyhow. But it is important that we dedicate our children to God. Do you know that? And not only to dedicate them unto God, but to keep the promise. You know, I've dedicated a lot of babies here. And today all the children are dedicated. Right? The parents is not here and the children is not here. Because a lot of people make promises, but they never follow through with their promise. But it is very important that we follow through with our promises. The reason I am saying this, it is for our own good and our own benefit. Because the Bible says, grow up a child in the ways of the Lord, that when he grows old, he will not depart from the faith. Today, your children could be messed up with so many things out there in the world. The devil is waiting out there to trap you and to destroy your children. Are you hearing me? That's why you need to grow them up in church. You need to invest into them the things of God. So that when they go there and they face the enemy, they will know what is right from wrong. They will know what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Because you have instilled in them the things of God. I know my wife, she was telling me, she said, you know, when she came to Canada at the age of 13 and she was going to high school and stuff, she said there was so much temptation out there to do wrong things, to get indulged in the wrong companies. But because she was grown up in the fear of God, it saved her from all the struggle. Today, parents, they have sleepless nights. They worry about the children, where they are, what they're doing. To save yourself from that, if you grow them in the fear of God, God will guide them every step. When you save yourself from sleepless nights and worries, you will look younger and you will look healthier. I'm telling you from experience. I'm one person, I don't take on worries. But it could easily affect me. But you know, with the help of God. So here we see Hannah, she fulfilled a promise. And verse 24 said, verse 25, and they slew a bullock and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth. So now Hannah is talking to the priest, right? She's talking to the priest in the temple. And she said, in verse 26, she said, O my Lord, as thy soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood by thee here, praying unto the Lord. For this child I prayed, worshipped the Lord. Amen?
Amen.
So you see, Hannah, she fulfilled the promise. The priest must be forgot about Hannah. And when she came into the temple with the sacrifice, and with her son Samuel, she reminded the priest, remember when I was in the temple? When I was praying and crying out, and you thought I was drunk with wine? She said, God has answered. That's the kind of God we serve. He will always answer our prayer when we do the right thing. She came in the house of the Lord with a big sacrifice. And she dedicated her son, Samuel, unto God. I'm going to finish here. What I'm saying to you today, when you live with God and you do the right thing, God will bless you. Like Hannah. We live in a world where we face problems, like I said. But the thing about it is how we handle them. Hannah went to God. Today you can do the same. And if you look at as you continue to study the book of Samuel, you will see how Samuel became a great man. God didn't only bless Hannah with a son, but she was blessed with 5 children later on. You see, when you are faithful in the small things, God will bless you with bigger things. Hannah was faithful. She didn't just take the blessing and run with it, but she stand by her word. She was a woman of integrity. How many people like that today? How many people stand behind their words today? You know, there are so many people who make false promises. It's better you don't make a promise. You know, one thing I like about Brother Chris, he stands behind his word. I have proven that for the time since I have known him, he always stands behind his word. And that's one thing I admire, people with integrity. I hold them very high on my list. How much more God does. Hannah stand behind her word. She fulfilled her promise, and God blessed her with 5 more children. And Samuel, he was a great prophet. You see, when you fulfill your promise with God, He can bless you. And He will take you to places where no man has ever gone. Like I said today, we had a prophetic word. And one of the words that I remember very clearly, that we're going to see God doing things that will blow our mind away. Why is that? Do you know for 19 years, we struggled in this ministry. 19 years, people don't know what we went through. Many times I say to myself, you know, I have everything. Why am I suffering myself? Why am I going through this? I should enjoy my life. Do you know many times we were asked to go to visit places, visit families and stuff like that. And And because we have church on Sunday, we never ever forsake the work of God. Sometimes my sister, I know Brother Mike and I, when I was single, we used to all, every weekend, we used to drive down to Montreal. Spend the weekend down there. Come back. Now when we started this church, my sister would say, well, why don't you come and visit us? And I said, no, we have a work to do. We have God's work to do. It's not the same like before. It's different now. And she would mock me and she would laugh at me and scorn me. She said, you have a church with just 2 people in it, but you can come and visit me. I don't care if it's 2 or 3 people. I will do what God called me to. I will remain faithful like Hannah. I will stand behind my word. I say, God, you saved me. God, you called me. And you called me for a purpose. And I will do whatever you called me to do. I will serve you to the end. I know what many people approached me and said to me. He said, you know what? You don't know what you're doing to my life. You don't know how much you have blessed me. I know Brother Damien has said it many times to me. People say, keep doing what you're doing. Because we serve a living God. And when we stand behind our word and we remain faithful to God, God will bless us. And I believe the blessing is about to happen. It is about to happen. God is about to do a new thing. So I will conclude with that today. And I pray for the word of God that has been taught today, that you have learned some stuff.
Amen.
And I pray that you will not only be hearers of the word, but doers of it. The real test is not only hearing the word. The real test is not only knowing the Bible. The real test, if you want to prove the word, do it. Because the word of God is living and it's powerful. Do you know the Bible? I always say this. I'll take my Bible in my hand and I'll show you. You see this book? The first book is Genesis and the last book is Revelation. In this book, there are 66 books in one book. This book, it took over 1,500 years to write this book. It took about 40 authors to write this book in 1,500 years. They were men from different era of time. This book was written in 13 countries and 3 continents. And if you study this book, it has one theme. It talks about Jesus Christ, our Savior. And it talks about the devil, our adversary. It is living. It is powerful. And it has the answer to all the world's problems. This word changed life. Do you know the words from this book, it changes life. It transforms people. It makes people better. It brings healing. It brings deliverance. It mends broken home. This word is living and it's powerful. And it will live for all eternity. The sad thing about it today, the world, you know what the world is trying to do? You know, I've been saying this for years now, a few years ago. Pretty soon, this book will be taken away from us. Do you know that? It already started in the United States of America. The leading country of the world. You know why this book will be taken away from us? Because it is the Word of God. The Antichrist is about to show up his appearance. And Jesus is coming soon. You know, you see these pews empty today? You know when this church is going to be full? When we are raptured and gone to heaven, people will be looking for preachers, they will be looking for the church, and the church will be packed for capacity. They'll be looking for God. But you will have to go through the tribulation period. That's the whole message by itself. I'll leave